Vincent Kennedy. Vince McMahon is an American professional wrestling promoter, former announcer, commentator, film producer, actor, and retired professional wrestler. He currently serves as the majority owner, chairman, and CEO of professional wrestling promotion World Wrestling Entertainment. McMahon plays an on-screen character known by the ring name Mr. McMahon, based on his real-life persona. He is a two-time world champion, having won the WWF Championship in 1999 and ECW World Championship in 2007. He was also the winner of the 1999 Royal Rumble. He headlined multiple pay-per-view events from 1999 to 2000 and participated in the main event of WrestleMania 2000 as a cornerman for The Rock. And he was also involved in the main event storyline of WrestleMania X7. He is married to Linda McMahon, with whom he ran WWE from its establishment in 1980 until she resigned as the CEO in September 2009. Early life. McMahon was born in Pinehurst, North Carolina. He is of Irish Catholic ancestry. His father, Vincent James McMahon, had left the family while McMahon was still a baby, taking his elder son, Rod, with him. McMahon did not meet his father until age 12, and spent the majority of his childhood living with his mother and a string of stepfathers. According to an interview with Playboy, he attended Fishburne Military School in Waynesboro, Virginia, graduating in 1964. He claimed that one of his stepfathers, Leo Lupton, used to beat his mother and attacked McMahon when he tried to protect her. He said, "It is unfortunate that he died before I could kill him. I would have enjoyed that." In his early life, he also overcame dyslexia. Business career. Worldwide Wrestling Federation. McMahon first met the promoter for Capital Wrestling Corporation, his father Vincent J. McMahon, at the age of 12. At that point, McMahon became interested in following his father's professional wrestling footsteps and often accompanied him on trips to Madison Square Garden. McMahon wanted to be a wrestler, but his father would not let him, explaining that promoters did not appear on the show and should stay apart from their wrestlers. In 1968, McMahon graduated from East Carolina University with a business degree and after a nondescript career as a traveling salesman, he was eager to assume a managerial role in his father's Worldwide Wrestling Federation promotion. In 1969, McMahon made his debut as an in-ring announcer for the WWF's All-Star Wrestling. In 1971, he was assigned to a small territory in Maine, where he promoted his first card. He later became the play-by-play announcer for television matches after he replaced Ray Morgan in 1971, a role he regularly maintained until November 1997. In 1979, Vince and Linda purchased the Cape Cod Coliseum and the Cape Cod Buccaneers of the Atlantic Coast Hockey League. In addition to pro wrestling and hockey, they began selling out rock concerts, including Van Halen and Rush, in non-summer months, traditionally considered unprofitable due to lack of tourists. This venture led the McMahons to join the International Association of Arena Managers, learning the details of the arena business and networking with other managers through IAAM conferences, which Linda later called of great benefit to WWE's success. Throughout the 1970s, McMahon became the prominent force in his father's company and, over the next decade, assisted his father in tripling TV syndication. He pushed for the renaming of the company to the World Wrestling Federation. The younger McMahon was also behind the Muhammad Ali vs. Antonio Inoki match of 1976. In 1979, the younger McMahon and his wife Linda founded their own company, Titan Sports, which was incorporated in the following year, and in 1982, when McMahon was aged 37, acquired control of the Capital Wrestling Co. from his ailing father. World Wrestling Federation Entertainment. 1980s wrestling boom. At the time of his purchase of the WWF, professional wrestling was a business run by regional promotions. The various promoters shared an understanding that they would not invade each other's territories, as this practice had gone on undeterred for decades. McMahon had a different vision of what the industry could become. In 1963, the WWF split from the National Wrestling Alliance, which was the governing body for all the regional territories across the country and as far away as Japan. He began expanding the company nationally by promoting in areas outside of the company's northeast U.S. stomping grounds and by signing talent from other companies, such as the American Wrestling Association. In 1984, he recruited Hulk Hogan to be the WWF's charismatic new megastar, and the two quickly drew the ire of industry peers as the promotion began traveling and broadcasting into rival territories. Nevertheless, McMahon created the Rock N' Wrestling connection by incorporating pop music stars into wrestling storylines. As a result, the WWF was able to expand its fan base into a national mainstream audience as the promotion was featured heavily on MTV programming. On March 31, 1985, he promoted the first WrestleMania to be held at Madison Square Garden while airing on closed-circuit TV throughout the U.S. WrestleMania was an undisputed success. As a result, the WWF thus stood head and shoulders above all its competition, and Hulk Hogan soon became a full-fledged pop culture icon and child role model. During the late 1980s, McMahon shaped the WWF into a unique sports entertainment brand that reached out to family audiences while attracting fans who had never before paid attention to pro wrestling. By directing his storylines towards highly publicized supercards, McMahon capitalized on a fledgling revenue stream by promoting these events live on PPV television, a concept initiated by then-rival Jim Crockett Promotions. In 1987, the WWF reportedly drew 93,173 fans to the Pontiac Silverdome for WrestleMania 3, which featured the main event of Hulk Hogan vs. Andre the Giant. 1990s Attitude Era. After struggling against Ted Turner's World Championship Wrestling, McMahon cemented the WWF as the preeminent wrestling promotion in the late 1990s. When he initiated a new brand strategy that would eventually return the WWF to prominence. Sensing a public shift towards a more hardened and cynical fan base, McMahon redirected storylines towards a more adult-oriented model. The concept became known as WWF Attitude, and McMahon commenced the new era when he manipulated the WWF Championship away from Bret Hart at Survivor Series in what is now known as the Montreal Screwjob. McMahon, who for years had downplayed his ownership of the company and was mostly known as an announcer, became involved in WWF storylines as the Evil Misty. McMahon, who began a legendary feud with Stone Cold Steve Austin, who challenged the boss's authority. As a result, the WWF suddenly found itself back in the midst of national pop culture, drawing millions of viewers for its weekly Monday Night Raw broadcasts, which ranked among the highest-rated shows on cable television. Other business dealings. In the early 1980s, McMahon briefly promoted ice hockey in South Yarmouth, Massachusetts. His Cape Cod Buccaneers played at the Cape Cod Coliseum and were founding members of the Atlantic Coast Hockey League, the predecessor league to today's East Coast Hockey League. In October 1999, McMahon led the WWF in an initial public offering of company stock. On March 23, 2001, he purchased the fading WCW and its assets for $5 million. 3 days later, his victory speech was simulcast on both WWF Raw and WCW Nitro. In 2000, McMahon again ventured outside the world of professional wrestling by launching the XFL. The league eventually began in February 2001, with McMahon making an appearance at the first game. The league, however, quickly folded after lack of publicity. In the summer of 2003, McMahon acquired Extreme Championship Wrestling in bankruptcy court, leaving McMahon and the WWF as the only major wrestling promotion left in North America. In 2010, McMahon announced plans to launch a brand new cable network by summer 2011. The concept was eventually modified from a conventional cable channel into an over-the-top streaming service known as WWE Network, which launched in February 2014.